there was a time, a long time ago, when planes diecast actually dominated the pegs. But those times have certainly changed, and now we're lucky if we get even one plane released a year. Luckily though, 2022 brought us this cool re-release, new Thailand-made variant of Barney Stormin here. And we're going to be taking a look at him today, because he's actually very different from his original one. Well, actually, to be honest, I can't tell you if he is or not. I thought he was from pictures. I don't have the original one, though. I got this one about a year ago now, and he's really cool, so I want to take a look at him and do a review. So welcome on back to the Cars Garage, everyone. Here is Barney Stormin, looking very determined. He is, of course, if you don't know where he appeared in the movie, it's a very quick scene, but it's a pretty cool scene at the Los Angeles International Speedway, in the end of the first Cars movie, actually. He is obviously a professional skywriter, so he writes the words Piston Cup into the air, and then Marco, the jet, and his jet buddies come on flying by, and they just destroy his creation. Never liked when they did that. I don't know why they had to fly directly through it, but I don't know. Maybe they do that in real NASCAR races. Honestly, don't really know. But it's a really cool plane diecast. I mean, how often do we get planes, like I was saying? It's very far and few between these days. I was actually even surprised that Mattel released this guy in 2022, especially because the deluxes in the last few years have been very, very typical, you know? Usually they were just releasing like the same typical releases that we get pretty much every year, you know? Your standard semi-cab, which is always a new one, which is kind of cool. They don't even do that anymore. Usually they'll do a deluxe mater or two. And then, of course, your 3 demo derby, Misfritter and RV and Dr. Damage. So, I mean, you know, we just expected, like, what they were going to release each year. And then 2022 comes. Very dry start to the year, but then we just get Barney Stormin re-release. So, very exciting. I was really happy that they did, because I never had the original one, like I said. I believe he was first released in 2007, if I'm not mistaken. But he was actually in a singles packaging, and that was at a time before they had deluxes. So they had to, like, extend the blister, kind of like they did with Doug Krankle right now in 2023. That's a pretty cool car to have in the package. I'd like to get it one day. Hopefully I can. But yeah, I would not expect that Barney never gets a re-release again. Or maybe he will as a single, maybe, who knows again. But usually he's a deluxe, because the deluxe line has been unfortunately canceled indefinitely. Probably forever. I kind of doubt they'll bring it back. Which, you know, obviously raises the question, how will we get all these Cars on the Road releases? And we've already gotten one deluxe. Ironically, it is the plane from the Circus Velocitus Circus Showtime episode. That's what it's called, from Cars on the Road. So yeah, I don't know, I guess they're just going to release them in multi-packs and whatnot, because we need Ivy coming soon. Apparently she is. But anyways, it just raises the question, like, how will Barney Stormin, for example, ever get released again? I honestly don't know, but I honestly don't think it would be all that hard for them to put him in a singles packaging like they did it before. Like I said, packaging was a bit different shape back then, so I'd assume they could get him in. Why not? He's really not even that much metal anyways, so I don't think it'd be breaking Mattel's bank. Now, quickly, I do want to show, here is the packaging that he had in 2022. Obviously, it's already opened up and everything, so we can't do an unboxing, but I wanted to show his artwork and everything because it looks cool. Now, yeah, the deluxe line was just really weird in 2022. Obviously, they're not doing it this year, 2023, because there was no, like, name tag, really. It was just on the card, like most of the main line, but yet again, we still had bubble blisters, which they weren't really doing in 2022, so it was kind of strange. But there's a look at his artwork, looking very nice. Not a new artwork. I thought it was at first, but it's not. And he has, obviously, the even bigger blister, like Marco and the Dynaco helicopter rotor Turbowski have. As seen in Cars on the back, because he was. And he was also released alongside his buddy Marco there. Or maybe his enemy, because, like I said, Marco always likes to fly through Barney's creations here. But I think it's such a cool diecast. I just always appreciate when they release cars like this, because it's really not even a car, it's a plane. And too bad they wouldn't release more, like Tread the Train, for example. That would be really cool, but, or even some boats. But obviously, like, that wouldn't be able to get into a singles package, let alone a deluxe. So, anyways, let's take a quick look at his design, or not quick. We weren't really rushed for time here. We have lots of time. Really cool design. I love the circus-inspired paint job he has. Almost, like, it makes me wonder, did Barney once work for the circus? Like, some kind of circus? Before he started working for the Piston Cup? I honestly don't know. I was reading his biography in the Meet the Cars book, and I actually didn't see anything about that, him being in the circus before. I thought for sure it was going to say that. He's a really cool working propeller, though. Nice how they detailed it on the front. Big old red, almost like it looks like a red nose. Like he's definitely imitating a clown, almost. Really cool. Obviously, his biplane wings, he has a biplane, by the way. They are completely made of plastic, though, so, like I said, not a ton of metal on this guy. He could definitely fit into a singles packaging and not be too heavy or anything. I mean, if you can get Doug Crankle in, you can definitely get this guy in, I would say. Even got the wings on the back there. I don't know, those tail fins, that's what those are called, I think. But, really cool biplane model. I believe he's the same as Leadbottom, one of the townies of Prop Wash Junction in the Planes movies. Take a look at him in a second. I love, like, it's hard to see his eyes, but I love how they still detail them quite a bit. As you can see them in there. Pretty nicely determined. But they're pretty small. But honestly, I mean, they have to be, kind of. And it's actually wearing his helmet as well. Very cool helmet. Reminds me of the one Snoopy wears when he dresses up like the Red Baron in the old Peanuts comics and shorts. I love that brown helmet, though. It kind of looks like the one Mater wore also in that time he traveled to Prop Wash Junction in the Air Mater cartoon short. You can actually see a little bit inside of his engine there. Just a little. I don't know much about the mechanics of a real working plane, but yeah, I don't know. You guys tell me how that works in there, but it's kind of exposed, so that's kind of weird. Yeah, he's definitely imitating a clown. Look at that. He's even got red around his mouth there. Nice that they detailed the teeth, made them white, instead of just making a little smile. This whole front part here, his engine, I guess, is all plastic, though. Same as the propeller. It's a soft plastic. Almost rubber. Now, it looks like this part is metal, and even the base is metal. It's weird that they left the gap. It's a very noticeable gap, but, I mean, I guess they kind of have to with planes. Planes are obviously different than cars. They don't really have a standard base, but all the wings are plastic. Really cool red and white design, though. It really reminds me of a circus tent for sure. Tons of colors of dots as well. We got red, blue, orange, yellow, green. I guess that's it. A lot of cool colors. It's cool. I'm glad that they didn't just do, you know, like a standard Piston Cup design for this guy, like his paint job. I'm really glad that he just stands out. Because, you know, I mean, usually the Piston Cup design at the time in 2006 would have been like dark blue and yellow, like we have on Race Tow Truck Tom, Race Official Tom. I don't know why they're all named Tom. Even Charlie Checker. So I'm glad that they didn't just do a boring design like that. Well, not boring, but, you know, I'm glad he stands out. He's not really like an official Piston Cup member, I don't think. More like a third-party kind of company they hire, I guess, I would assume, to do some professional skywriting. And it said something about in his biography how he's always got to be perfect, he can't misspell. Because if he does, obviously there's no eraser in the sky, so that would look bad on him. That's kind of funny. He's obviously got plastic on the part here where the wheels are. And the wheels are hidden. You can kind of see them a little bit, though. Take a look at his base now. Hard to get him all in frame. He is pretty big when I put him this way. There's a look at his base, though. Made in Thailand, of course. And it says Disney Pixar on the bottom there. And unfortunately, Mattel never, ever does it right with the plane's wheels on the back side. They always just put a little red or whatever color it is. Just a little metal piece here. You know, just so that it can stand like it is a wheel. But it's obviously not a working wheel. So I never liked that they did that. How hard would it be to put a tiny little plastic wheel like that in? Not that hard, probably. That's always upsetting, I found, with the planes. They always did that with the planes diecast. Every single one. They never, ever did the wheels on the back. That was always upsetting. But anyways, we've taken a look at Barney now. Now it's time to compare him to some other planes, diecast, or biplane diecast, I should say. Here's Lead Bottom. So Lead Bottom obviously is the old man kind of, not really mentor for Dusty, but he basically starts off the Planes franchise with Dusty. They're both flying around the fields of Prop Wash Junction and spraying them their vitamin mulch. There's the vitamin mulch logo. He's a pretty gross plane. He farts many times on camera. But he is a biplane, of course. Definitely a different model, though. He's not as pristine and nice. He's not as nice condition as Barney, obviously. Barney's on live TV all the time, though, so it makes sense. And he's definitely older, you can see, with the wings. Got all these lines on him. Looks like sheet metal, maybe. He's got this whole engine part exposed here, like, completely. I guess that part fell off, and he just didn't care. And he's only got, oh yeah, this one's pretty tight. It doesn't really spin very well, but he's only got two. What are those called? I know it's a propeller, but what are those individual ones called? I don't really know. But he's only got two little things on his propeller. Once again, I don't know much about planes. The mechanics of them, at least. Now here's Sunwing. I know they're definitely a newer looking biplane, for sure. I believe she raced in the Wings Around the Globe Rally in planes. Obviously racing for China, I believe. Number 8. Definitely a different model once again, but similar in its own way. She actually has a window on top. That's weird. Like, I don't understand. If that window broke, would you see her brain? Like, I don't really get it. Always, planes and cars, really, it just makes no sense, the anatomy of them sometimes. I always question that. Here is Vanderbird, a very rare plane. I didn't actually know he was so rare, and I found out they're worth a good $100 or so. So that's pretty cool. I believe this one's racing for... Actually, I don't even know where this is racing for, to be honest. The colors don't really look very noticeable to me. I couldn't tell you what country. But number 5, or number 55, what am I saying? Pretty cool model, though, once again. Same exact model as Sunwing, though. It's not too much to show. And then we have one more biplane. I've actually got them all out today. This is all the ones I have. Here's Bessie C. Flywell. Whoa. Now, I believe she's from Planes Fire and Rescue. And she's pretty well the same model as Lead Bottom, just a bit nicer looking. But this is a really cool plane. She actually has eyeglasses. Wow. It's like I never look at these planes anymore. What in the world? Whoa, I never realized that. She actually has, what is that, a tennis ball? Wow, I never realized that before. That's weird. Maybe I did, I just forgot. That's cool, though. And I guess I take that back what I said earlier about Mattel never doing the back wheels. I guess they kind of did for this one, but not completely. It's not really a wheel, it's more like a tennis ball. Definitely looks nice, though. That's a nicely detailed plane. I don't know. Some of these planes at the very end, before they stopped selling them, I just didn't really buy them anymore. And they started showing up like a year or two later, after 2015. I think they stopped selling them in that year. But around like 2017, Cars 3 was out and everything. And then these planes, these diecasts, they just started showing up at the Dollarama of all things. If you've been watching the channel for a little while, you know that I found some pretty cool diecast at the Dollarama here in Canada before, including the NASCAR diecast, which I just found about a couple weeks ago. But yeah, around the end of their life cycle, I did find quite a bit of planes. And I don't know, I mean, I wasn't as avid of a collector back then, but I didn't really buy all of them. There was many, like Pack Rat, I know it's pretty rare now, so I missed on him. I didn't get Fonzarelli. There was tons of jets and everything from Skipper's Flight School or whatever that I passed up on. I really regret that because they were only $4 at the time, which is a really great deal. I tell you, they're a lot more than that now online. They all go for somewhere around $50 to $100 in the package, especially. So I really regret not getting them because they are cool. They're nice to have. It's always nice to have some more planes, especially like Fonzarelli, for example. He's a pretty main character in planes, or a pretty main side character at least. But who knows? Maybe I'll find them eventually, but definitely not for $4. So I don't know. It's really undetermined what the future of Barney Stormin will be. Maybe he'll never get a re-release again, who knows. So, what I'm saying is, if you want him, I would definitely buy one of his old versions, because they're actually not even that expensive. He was released a few times after 2007 as well. I forgot to mention, I think in 2010 maybe even 2008. But other than that, I don't think he was ever really in the 2010s decade. Other than that at all, I don't think. But I don't know, let me know if I'm wrong in the comments down below, because I very well could be. He's just more like a forlorn character for me. Sometimes I forget he even exists. But I was really happy that they released him in 2022. Unfortunately, there wasn't many other interesting deluxes released in 2022, though. Craig Faster was cool, though. Marco was cool. Other than that, though, not too many good ones that I'm thinking of right now. What do you think the future of Barney Stormin will be? Will he ever get a re-release again? I'm not sure. But anyways, let me know down below in the comments. And with that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time on the Cars Garage.